In this video, you will discover the 5 keys to stop chasing a guy and overthinking everything. Hi, I'm Brody Boyd, the husband of Antia Boyd, and I've been helping single men to attract the right woman for them for over 16 years, so I have a unique perspective into how the male brain works. So I'll be able to help you out a lot with this in this video. And make sure to stay all the way to the very end because we're gonna have some powerful free gifts for you to help a lot with this as well. And of course, as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to get more future powerful videos like this moving forward. So let's go ahead and dive in with key number 5 to help to stop chasing a man and stop overthinking everything, which is to let it be natural and organic. Now here's where this comes into play. So there's a principle here, which is the best relationships start out naturally and organically. And the reason why is because how a relationship starts is generally how the relationship will continue. This is about initial conditions. There's a saying in systems thinking, which is systems are extremely sensitive to initial conditions. Just like, for example, the United States of America, this country is very sensitive to the initial stages of how the country was founded, based on the Constitution, based on the principles which the country was founded. Any country is founded. So that's also true for relationships. How a relationship is founded, whatever constitution is created in the beginning of a relationship will determine how that relationship functions later on. So, for example, if you're starting your relationship with a amendment that says, in this relationship, I shall be anxious and you shalt be avoidant, then that's how the relationship will continue generally. There's not going to be this, most of the time, there's not going to be this epiphany moment in the relationship where suddenly the man realizes the errors of his ways and he starts chasing you and now you become the avoidant one. Although that can happen. I'm saying it can happen, but it's often not the reality of what will happen. So, therefore, you need to make sure, you need to make that constitutional line in your relationship agreement that's not really spoken. This doesn't have to be spoken, but it's just the way you operate, that this relationship shall be easy, simple, and fun. Say it with me now. This relationship shall be simple, fun, and easy. That's the pledge that you shall make in the beginning of your relationship. I, the person, shall be in only relationships that is easy, simple, and fun, where the man chases me, and I get to be the feminine, and he gets to be the masculine, and we have chemistry, we have attraction, we have polarity, and he values me, and I value him. So it's also holding a standard. But you want to practice this from the very beginning of your relationship, and make sure that you continue to practice this throughout your relationship. And you will have generally happy relationships. You will attract happy relationships. Either you'll have a happy relationship, or you're going to wait until you have that happy relationship, but you're not going to settle for a relationship where a guy is, where you're anxious, you have to chase him, and it's just this cat and mouse, and it's frustrating, and it ends up going nowhere, and you waste, more years of your life. So that's not going to happen. Relationships are natural and organic, and that's the way it's going to be moving forward, and you have to adopt that as a rule in your constitution of relationships. Key number 4 is the feminine is about surrender. So, how can you be chasing a man if you're in your feminine? It's about surrendering. That they don't go together, right? Surrender and chasing don't go together. It's like water and oil. So if you want to have a man chase you, it's about embracing your feminine. Your feminine. To stop chasing a man and to stop overthinking everything, surrendering to the process. We'll talk about more in that a bit, but surrendering to having to be the masculine. The masculine is the one that hunts. The masculine is the one that chases. The masculine is the one that's anxious, not necessarily anxious, but the one that has to think a lot. What do I do next? What do I plan? Where am I going to take her on the next date? When am I going to propose to her? Right? Those are the masculine decisions. If you're overthinking, that means you're trying to make those decisions for him, or you're trying to influence and control those decisions, which means you're actually stepping into the masculine. So, embracing the feminine is about surrendering and only being with a man who will take that role, who will take that. And by you surrendering, that's how you attract guys that will chase you, that will take that role, that will make those decisions. And they'll be the ones overthinking, not necessarily overthinking, but at least thinking and doing and planning and making those decisions, which is ultimately going to bring you the most joy anyways in a relationship, when you can surrender to a strong man who has your back, who'll take the lead, take control, and get it done. So by you flowing into your feminine, that will attract that masculine energy. It's a law of the universe, polarity. It's like the north and the south poles of the planet. Imagine if we lost the poles of the planet, our planet would literally become a dead planet. It would be dead at that point. Polarity is life. Polarity is the juice that comes to relationships. So by embracing that feminine, that will create that for you and attract that to you. Key number 3 to stop chasing men and stop overthinking is a phrase that I love. I used to teach this to men, but it's a phrase that applies equally to women, which is when in doubt, meet more men, or meet more of the opposite sex, meet more men. So what that means is that oftentimes we can get into this tunnel vision called one-itis. One-itis, when you're just focused on one person, there's no other possibility. It's usually due to an anxious attachment style. It's due to your attachment. And you become clinged on to this one thing. I need this man. This is the one. He has to be me. He has to be mine. Usually it's an ex. Usually it's a guy that's the only guy that you're really interested in, that's even giving you the time of day, and so you cling on to it. Or for whatever reason, he's triggering something from your childhood. You know, he reminds you of certain aspects of male figures in your early life, and that's what you're now attracted to. Or he's creating what we'll talk about in a bit, attraction anxiety, where just because you're anxious about him, you're attracted. So for whatever reason, to avoid this curse, which is this one-itis, this one-man focus, you have to open yourself up. Part of it is just starting out, making sure you're having a good social life, making sure you actually have a social life. I know right now it's hard with COVID and all these stuff that's going on. I was going to say something else, but I won't go there. So it's basically you focusing on that social life, and even in situations where it's harder to connect with other people, putting that effort in. Usually it's just structuring your life in a way where you have those opportunities to be social. You know, even in pandemic, you know, right now, a lot of churches are still open. So there's still opportunities to connect, to meet quality people, where you can actually have the chance of finding a husband that and attracting a man who will give you the time of day. You know, there's other opportunities virtually. You know, there's things you can be doing online, and of course with online dating and whatnot. But the idea is to make sure you're open and available to other possibilities, because you might be actually attached to a guy who is the wrong guy for you. You know, he might not be the right one. You might be actually settling and being attracted to and attached to a guy that is actually wrong for you, bad for you, or it's just going to waste your time. So at least allow yourself to be open that the right guy, an even better guy, could come in, unless you're like of course, if you're in an exclusive relationship, forget about that. You know, I'm just saying if you're in a dating process. Exclusive relationship, if this isn't really working out, that's a whole other conversation where it actually probably better to just end things, because again, how a relationship starts is generally going to continue, and there's other strategies how you can get a man to chase you in a relationship, which we talk about in our other videos, and some of that's applying what I'm saying now here. But generally that doesn't apply in a exclusive relationship where you want to just now meet more men. Of course, you can still have a social life, and if that happens, that might happen where you meet a man and then you'll be like, okay, I definitely am settling. I'm going to end this relationship and I'm going to actually start dating some other guys. So that's the concept here, is making yourself open and available for the new and better to potentially come in as well, if you're in a situation that would apply in. Key number 2 to stop chasing men, stop overthinking, is a powerful phrase. Oh my God, this helped me so much in my dating. So I used to be very anxious when I was starting out dating. I wasn't super anxious, but of course I was anxious. I was trying to control everything. I was trying to get women to like me right away, and I would be really frustrated if it didn't go well, even from the first conversation. If I started a conversation with a woman and she wasn't interested, I would take it really hard. I'd be like, something's wrong with me. I screwed it up. I did something bad, whatever. And I was so attached to the outcome. I was so attached to wanting to have that woman in my life, wanting to have that connection in my life, that I couldn't even really function that well in my dating. And so until I learned this process, which is a phrase that comes from the great Wayne Dyer, the philosopher, which I believe he got it from, and you can derive this from ancient texts like the Tao Te Ching, where they in the Bhagavad Gita and the Dhammapada for Buddhism, which is commit to the process but detach from the outcome. Commit to the process and detach from the outcome. Now, committing to the process is about just that. It's about thinking of your dating as a process. It's a process. It's like showing up to work. It's like showing up to anything else in your life. It's like growing a garden. If you want to grow a plant, you don't plant the seed and then just say like, why aren't you growing yet? Where's my man? Where's my husband? This isn't popping out yet. What's going on? What's wrong? you don't get upset and you don't get frustrated and you don't just then go forget about it and just focus on your work. No, you go out, you water the plant every day, you make sure the soil's right, you make sure the sun's right when it starts popping out of the soil, and you grow that thing until it becomes a beautiful, flowering, romantic rose bush with beautiful roses. And that's the process of growing an amazing relationship. So you can't be so attached to like, where are the roses? I need the roses. You say, look, it's a process. It takes some time. It takes the right mindset. It takes watering the soil. It takes watering your soul, yourself, to be the best version of you can be, so that then it grows naturally. Again, we talked about that earlier, this naturalness, this organicness. I think that's a great metaphor for thinking about your romantic life. Think about it as like growing this beautiful rose, growing this flower, you know, just like in Beauty and the Beast, right? That rose was the thing that was given to the beast, that he had to find his woman. It's like the symbol of this beautiful thing that you're nurturing, that then once you give it to the right man, you will have that relationship. So it's about the process. That's what I'm trying to get to here. It's about the process of attracting that person, not the outcome. And so it's about showing up. It's about taking action and letting the cards fall with where they may. So any one man may not be the right one. It may not go right. Any one date may not go well, but it's about continuing to show up, continuing to take those actions, continuing to work on yourself and improve yourself, so that eventually that will bloom and you will have that in your life. That will help ease this anxiety, because mostly anxiety is created from future anticipation, future thinking. But when you're committed to the process, you can only be present, because the process is now. The process is today. The process is, what did you do today to start attracting the man for you? What did you do today to start improving your social life? What did you do today to start being the best, most attractive, most magnificent feminine goddess that you can be? That's the only thing you can control here, right now. And the rest you leave up to God. The rest you leave up to the universe to create that for you and to bring that into your life. And of course, having a mentor, having a coach, having someone who can guide that process for you will help it be that much faster. Just like growing a garden, you will need it helps to have like a guidebook, right? Or somebody helping you garden. But that's the key. Commit to the process, detach from the outcome. Finally, key number 1, which I've alluded to a little bit already, which is he really the right guy? And to beware of attraction anxiety. So what do I mean by this? Is he actually the right guy for you? You need to really sit with this. You need to write out a list of what exactly you want in your ideal man, that wish list, that story that I used to call it. You know, before I met Antia, before I attracted Antia, I had a written document that I had written of what I wanted for my romantic life, the kind of wife that I wanted. When I became clear that's what I wanted, and I called it my story, and I would read it through to myself every morning. And when I met Antia, I actually told her that night in Waikiki under the Hawaiian moon, I said, you're the woman, wow, you're the woman from my story, which was true. She was like everything I'd written in my story. And so that's the power of being clear on what you want. And then you will just know if he's the right guy for you or not. Because oftentimes there's this thing that comes in to the dynamic within dating for an anxious attachment style, which we call attraction anxiety, which is where you are actually an anxious attachment style. You're actually anxiously attached to this idea of having finally a secure love, finally someone who will love you forever, who won't leave, who won't abandon you. And if this guy is an avoidant, he's going to trigger that within you. He's going to trigger this feeling of wanting to grasp him and wanting, no, please just give me that love that my mom, my dad, my family didn't give to me, please. And it's like this grasping energy. So what that does is it creates actually anxiety, and then your brain will interpret that anxiety as attraction. And say, oh, I'm attracted to him. I feel all these emotions. I feel all this passion. I must be attracted to him. He must be the guy I want to be with. No, he's actually an avoidant, and he's triggering your anxious attachment style, and you're wanting to cling on him to hopes that he will finally meet your needs. Attraction anxiety. It's an illusion that our brain creates. It's not actual attraction. It's anxiety that's masking itself as attraction. So by being aware of what you actually want, by being aware of you want a secure relationship, you want a relationship where the man is also chasing you, he's taking the masculine role, you get to be in your feminine, you get to be a high-value woman that a man respects, that he wants to be with for life, that he commits to you, that he supports you, that he shows up, then you have to let go of thinking that a man who is avoidant is the man for you, and be clear on what is the right guy for you. And that'll help you to see the truth, see through the illusion, see the truth, if he's the one or not. And that'll help ease the anxiety, and you may just at that point let him go, and the right guy will come in. So he might not be the right guy for you. You might have to let him go. totally, and like actually break up if you're in a relationship, or just stop contact basically. If he's not the right one, he might come around, he might change, and then say, no, I actually want to be with you, I want to commit to you. But if he doesn't, you have to move on, and that's when you're going to bring that right guy into your life who will be with you. And it's not going to feel like it's so anxious. It's not going to feel that sense of intellectual anxiety, like, wow, there's so much passion. I know when me and Antje were dating, we were like basically casual for like 3 months. We didn't like become exclusive for 3 months because there wasn't this intense like attraction, but it was a natural build of emotion, a natural build of attraction. And then we started, of course we were physically attracted, but it was like it deepened over time. And because it was based on a real attraction, it wasn't based on anxiety attraction anxiety. So that's what you want. That's what you're looking for, this natural growth that builds with the right guy for you, that will have secure love that lasts a lifetime. So those are the 5 keys, and now I have a free, amazing gift for you for sticking all the way to the end as well. And first thing, if you could actually subscribe, like the video, comment below, that'll make sure that we'll appreciate that, and you'll get future videos coming to you very soon. We also have a powerful course that I created for you, a free course called How to Get a Guy to Chase You, which goes deeper into these principles, deeper into other principles, to how to actually get a guy to come to you when you're in a relationship or you're in the early stages of dating. So click on the left here for the box for that video. I think it's the left. I don't know, it might be the right on your side. And then also we have a free Magnetize Your Man quiz where you can get powerful strategies just for you, which you can get by clicking on the link in the description below, or go to magnetizeyourman.com. Much love. Hope this was helpful. Look forward to talking more on future powerful videos that we'll be creating for you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.